What's up, guys? What is up? Um, it is going to be just Pappy and I tonight. I we we're gonna. It's probably gonna be a short night, little podcast tonight, but we wanted to come on and make sure that we did do a little podcast. We're going to talk a little bit about what we've been seeing on Chickamauga, what Pappy's been seeing in the woods, and um, so we're going to just do a little variety, little talk tonight. But first things first, tonight's episode is brought to you by Joe Burns Rods. Joe Burns Rods is the most sensitive rods that you will put into your hands down. I tell people if you want to be able to feel a fish fart, you need to put a Joe Burns rods in your hands. The sensitivity on them things is just outrageous. What you could feel, just a little tick on slack line, you're feeling it in the rod. Um, I've been fishing with Joe Burns rods for uh, years, and Pappy's been able to put them in his hands for the past year and a half or so, 2 years, and man, we just flat out just love them. But go check out Joe Burns Rods at Joe Burns Rods on Facebook. If you're wanting to put the Joe Burns rods in your hands before you purchase them, go to Fishtails in Cleveland, Tennessee. Talk to Tank or the staff there. They can hook you up and check out the rods that Burns rods at Joe Burns. Sorry, with they can hook you up with whatever kind of rod you're needing. I just done a video about the most versatile rod, and and it is for me it's a 7'3" medium heavy rod, but they have them all there at Fishtails. Go check them out. Put them in your hands, and I guarantee you are going to love them. But with that being said, Pappy, let's get going.
Hey, let's do it, baby. Hey, it's Pappy J here, and we got the salute to valor honoring an American hero, Specialist Nicholas Hatfield. He was of the Army Reserve from '06 to 12. His MOS was infantry scout,
Infantry
or
Scout.
cav, or yeah, scout. My bad.
Yep.
And he was with the Third 278 Troop, and he served in the theater over in Iraq, brother. We thank you for all that you've done, and we know that you sacrificed a lot, paving the way for all of us, and we really appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. I mean, it's we say it every week, and I know, Pappy. I I mean, we couldn't do what we do if it wasn't for these guys and yourself. And but I think this is starting to become one of my favorite things that we're doing on the podcast. I'm I'm liking the recognition and stuff, and then once we figure out what we're going to do with the coin or whatever, I'm excited to be able to get them into the guys and girls' hands, or I say ladies, I'd say. But Pappy, man, this what you've done with this has been very heartwarming to me, and I know it's been the same for you. But it was one heck of an idea that you wanted to honor the people that really don't get the credit, for the freedom that we have. And so, thank you, brother.
Yeah, man. It's definitely a privilege
Yeah,
that we get to sit here in the peace of our homes and in the greatest land, you know, America that there is. Our freedom is it's not free. It is free, but it's been costly over the years, and without the men and women that paved the way for us, this none of us
yeah,
would be where we're at today. And how we're leading and leading everything. So it's been a great thing. I kind of feel like, I'm very grateful. I'm truly grateful. I've got kinfolk in there, and I know quite a bit of people in there, and my hat goes off to all of them. I mean, it truly does. I got a heart for them. But with that being said, so let's dive right into Chickamauga. So
Well, hold on. I do want to say something to kind of stay on that real quick.
yeah,
If you want us to recognize anybody, um, send an email to Josh Vaughn at Deck Talk Podcast or Colin Burnett at Deck Talk Podcast, and we will get them um, put on there just to be able to get them and get the people recognizes is what we want to do. And with that being said, Jerry says we as viewers love to see these people recognized. So
absolutely.
that's one thing that we wanted, and we knew that. I mean, fishermen, Pappy, they they kind of, for the most part, I mean, they bleed red, white, and blue, and
Mhm.
so. But again, just make sure you send us an email, and we will recognize them as soon as we'll have a list, and as soon as it comes down. Just because if you send it tomorrow or tonight doesn't mean that next week that they're going to be recognized, but they will be recognized. So, all right, brother,
Well,
let's
hey,
dive in.
also on that note, if you could leave a contact info in case we need to get in touch with you about
Right.
the information that you send us, because there might be something that was left out or something like that. Just 'cause basically all we're needing is name, rank, uh, maybe who they was attached to, MOS, what their job title was, which is MOS, and then if they served overseas or not. Every little bit of detail that we can get from you guys to recognize these men and women for what they've done, and I mean, because just going through, there might be some that has three different MOSs or done critical things in critical positions. You just never know. You never know. Everybody has a position and a job to do, and it's very critical in that aspect. But anyhow, moving on, let's talk about a little bit about fishing and what we're doing on these winter patterns that we got going on.
Well, I wouldn't call it winter pattern, but it is definitely a the fall pattern has definitely smacked us right in the face, hasn't it?
No, you got that right, buddy. You got that right. It's
So,
uh, it's definitely. I think fall has kind of went straight into winter. I mean, well, I say that it's been a little bit cooler, not a whole lot cooler, but it has been a little bit cooler than normal.
yeah. I think the water temp has kind of dropped it. Yesterday, when my dad and I went out, it was 62 degrees on Chickamauga, and I think that's usually it don't drop into the 60s until like mid to late November.
Yeah,
And which I know, I mean, it's a few weeks early. Um, but as we had gone out and stuff, we've started seeing to where the grass is starting to die off. You're not really hearing the bluegills and stuff in the grass,
yeah,
and so in which we had talked about that if you pull up to a mat and you're not hearing that little, like, the Rice Krispies sound, like when you put milk on Rice Krispies, you're not hearing that little popping. um, you know you don't want to spend any time on that area of grass.
yeah,
um, and so, but we made a move to kind of see, once that started, we know that they're going to start moving into the back of pockets.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went into back of pockets, and they weren't quite all the way to the back, but they were probably, I would say, halfway back. I'd say by Thanksgiving, they're gonna definitely be pushed all the way back into the back of these pockets. But right now, the bass are, um, they're probably as active as what they're going to be. They're hitting this bait, they're schooling them up, and just demolishing these baits. Um,
So
so
what would you think that? So basically, it's almost like a springtime pattern. I mean, you could probably
yeah,
go in there with a spinner bait or something like that. Just kind of slow it down a little bit, but still be able to fish how
yeah,
you want to fish.
or yeah. I mean, because as the water temp drops, the theory is as the water temp's dropping, you want to drop your speed of
Mm-hmm.
retrieve and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
To where springtime, as spring goes up, you can increase it, as the water temp's going up. It's kind of how I was raised and stuff like that, and how I think of it. As the water temp goes up, you increase the speed. As it goes down, you decrease. Um, that goes into effect, and which we had talked about this, out on the truck before. Um, I will slow it down until winter, and then when wintertime and it's time to start throwing them deep cranks, I a lot of people just kind of slow reel them, get them deep cranks going down deep, and just slow reel it. And I do not. I mean, and I've caught big fish doing this. Is just getting it going, and then I will burn it, and like just kind of pull the rod to me to where I'm making sure that the that crankbait's getting down deep. But then as soon as it gets down to I feel like it's as deep as what it's going to be, I burn it, stop just for like a second, just so that bait kind of checks up, and then start burning. Do like 3 or 4 cranks, stop, because usually, wintertime when that water temp gets down cold enough, they're not going to be as aggressive. They're going to be just kind of just sitting there, and anything that comes in their way, and if they don't have to use any kind of energy to get that, they're going to their natural instincts is no, is just to go on, just chomp on it.
Yeah.
So, but with reeling it real fast 4 or 5 times, stopping real, and then I do that all the way until get back to the boat. And so what that's doing is that's allowing it to kind of sit right in front of their face, or they see it pause and sits right in front of their face, and then takes off again. And as it's starting to take off, you will just feel it just going to load up. It's not that you really feel a hit; it just loads. And but that's how
That's
I've
kind of
been able.
that's kind of how I like to fish with a spinner bait in the wintertime. But I
Yeah,
like to go. Some people like to. Well, I'll throw it around a half ounce. I will throw a 3/4 ounce, but what I do is I'll take a like a wobble head with a big Colorado blade, anything that's going to throw a lot of vibration. But I'm basically fishing a spinner bait, kind of yo-yoing it, like you're saying. I might rip it through there, but then just let it drop, and then
yeah,
I might fish it like a jig for a minute, and just rip it and then let it drop.
yeah,
I've been pretty successful at doing stuff like that right there. You're right. These fish in wintertime, they get lethargic, and they're not acting themselves. And
yeah,
reason being is because it's cold.
yeah. Well, but right now, they're fattening up
Oh
for
yeah,
this winter. So
yeah,
they're any kind of bait, and if you go out on Chickamauga right now, you can go into some of these sloughs and backs of these or into these pockets and stuff. and the bait that you see is just phenomenal. It just the water just kind of just shimmers because it's nothing but bait.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so in which like right now I'm throwing a which when we were gone I was throwing a half ounce lipless crankbait in a sexy shad or um, a chrome, like an old rattle trap, a chrome rattle trap.
Mhm.
And so I know that some people are throwing like a crawl. I just haven't had, right now, I'm not having the success on a crawl color. It's either been that sexy shad or a chrome that I'm getting the hits on. Um, but I'm also throwing one of my favorite things to throw um, is an A rig, just because I just want an opportunity to be able to catch two or three fish at the same time. So, but and with Tennessee, we got to make sure we only have three hooks, even though you can have five arms, and so you can have five bait, but three of them can only have hooks. But the old A rig has came out. Oh, and I've been kind of contemplating if I'm going to tell. I've told uh, Jerry this, Jerry Brusso, because when him and Hunter were down here or up here from Florida fishing in that Bill Dance giant bass or big bass splash, I got some. Hunter is making these baits or making baits. Um, so I told Jerry that I was wanting some of these Sakamoto shad, and so in which you've been on the boat with me a bunch of times, and you know how like my mind's always thinking of what I can do to make something if I got to modify a bait or do whatever. But this is Hunter's Sakamoto shad that he does. These things have been phenomenal. Um, he, I'm trying to think. I think he makes like a 5 inch or excuse it may be a 4, a 6, and a 7 inch of these. Jerry, if you're on here still, will you let me know the size? But um, these things I've been very impressed with. You throw them on just like a single swim bait hook, but I've been putting these on my my A rig. I've got a small A rig from Lurch's Lures that I've been throwing, been putting these things on there. And what's crazy is when it's swimming, like they're darting and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So they're kind of the A rig is fluctuate. You know how like when you're throwing an A rig, usually you gotta have to pop it,
Mhm.
to get it to where it fluctuates out. These naturally, just as a slow reel, will fluctuate out. They just and the whole Jerry says 4.8, 5.6, and a 7. I knew that it was something like that, Jerry. Um, but I've been doing a whole lot better um, with this right now on an A rig than just a single. Just and I think what it is, Pappy, is just because the bait's all schooled up anyways. Um, so with it being the bait already schooled up, they're looking for that little pack to where they can ambush, and I've been able to catch some fish on it. But go check out Hunter B Outdoors on YouTube. And he has videos of him making the plastics and stuff like that. Um, and pick up some Wild Hunter baits. These things again. Uh, I just I got some of these, and Jerry gave me some other baits, and I just want to say, the, if I didn't know that he hadn't been pouring baits that long, I would have thought that it's these baits of how they poured, and you don't see any kind of tags hanging off like some people that you would see. Um, he really does a great job. I would think that he's been doing it for 10 plus years, but I did. That's one thing that I'm doing right now
So can you do you tell a difference? Like if you slow retrieve it, is it still giving that dart action to it?
as a single.
Yeah.
No,
No. Okay.
I think what it is on the A rig. Um, because when you fan out an A rig, I'm trying to see. Well, when you fan out the A rig, I got one on my wall right there, but when you fan it out and it starts moving in it, there's really no weight um, that, and the line's not tied straight to it, so the arms are allowing it to fluctuate. So as
Mhm.
it's through, it's not that it's like um, that it's real quick or anything like that, or it's just like pulsating coming through. It's kind of um, you can get it like slow, reel it slow, and then like if you can just adjust it, like if you speed up just a little bit and it fluctuates real. I mean, it's very nice of how it looks in the on the A rig, but just
Yeah.
a single hook. What I've been doing on a single hook is using the Dirty Jigs. I want to say it's a 3/16 hook, and I'm using it. That's what I'm using for my scoping and stuff like that. But the secret to it on using it on a single is you got to put that sonic coat on there, brother. You put
Hmm.
that sonic coat on it, and you throw that sucker as soon as it hits that water. Uh, I mean, it just glows. I
Yeah.
have never seen any other kind of stuff that you would put on. I mean, I've used other stuff that's supposed to make the bait pop out on the screen. I have not seen anything that does as well and that holds out. It's I've used some. I'm not going to say any kind of names, but I've used some that after about 2, 3 casts, you got to put it back on there.
Yeah.
And but that Sonic Coat gel is probably my favorite in um,
And
the shaft.
who he's referring to is Spocket from Spocket.
Oh yeah, Spocket, the Sonic Coat from Spocket. It
Hmm.
is the jam. I would recommend uh, anybody to go grab some. But then we went out, and we actually got to play around a little bit with that blade bait or the blade dye
Yeah.
uh, and stuff like that. Man, that stuff, it's a game changer. It definitely
Oh
is.
yeah. 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 Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
I really can't wait to give it a whirl this coming spring. Whenever
yeah,
my spinner bait action really gets going, I'm really looking forward to that. but
yeah. Jerry says it works like you wouldn't believe. It would make a Ned rig look like a softball. It does. It definitely does. And and I'll tell you this. I even put that Sonic coat. I took the spray out the other day and I sprayed it. Um, I sprayed it on my lipless crankbait because I wanted to make sure I was watching my. I wanted to be able to see my lipless crankbait out. Uh, and I have my forward facing sonar set out at 80,
mhm.
and it as soon as as soon as it comes into the screen, you have no there's no question about that that's the bait that's coming through there because it's just
Yeah,
looks like a flashlight just coming right through there. But
it sticks out like a sore thumb.
yeah. But another thing is a buddy of mine, he that I'm also using is a glide bait, and my buddy Jeremy Farmer makes a glide bait like nobody else's business. I mean, he actually took a gizzard shad that he cast netted, took it home, and made an imprint of it, and so he built his glide baits off this gizzard shad, and he has some. I think it's like a 6 inch, maybe 8 inch, and I think he has a smaller one. But he them glide baits, and which you've seen, you got to see them, and
They look phenomenal.
he hand paints everything, and right now uh, you do not get even with glide baits you don't really get that consistent hits. It is a if you're going to put it in your hands you're going to have it, and if you're fishing with it all day you may get 6 to 8 bites,
Yeah,
and if you was throwing something else, but you are generally going to be getting a bigger bite when that happens though. But
right.
those two, the A rig, the lipless crankbait, the and then that glide bait, and then a shaky head right now. So
What do you think?
are the baits that I'm using.
What do you think about a? Because I tell you something I like to throw too is well a couple of things really is uh, a worm Texas rig style, just old fashioned. I seem to do pretty well on it, and then a small jig. I'll
Yeah.
downsize to a small jig, and
Well, once you know, and it's in that transition right now to where we seen where the bass and the bait and stuff's moving from the grass.
mhm.
If you can still find grass that's still green, there's the bait's going to still be in it. But right now, everything's starting to die off, and so it's all starting to turn brown, and so bait is vacating it, and so now once that bait has moved into those pockets, you want to focus in on hard structure as rock riprap, some laydowns, and or just rock in general. Um, Also, don't if you see a dock that has some pylons, not the floating dock, but it's got the pylons. Now is the time that they're going to be up on they're they're going to be on the pylons, not up underneath the dock. They're going to be on that pylon, and usually what they're going to be facing the way that the current they're going to be facing into the current if that pocket has current. So so if it has some creeks coming in, that they're going to be facing most of the time back towards wherever that creek is. So
Yeah,
just kind of little information, because you know we talked before, like fish are lazy.
yeah,
And they want that bait coming right into their face. And but right now, you really don't have to. If the water's clear enough to where they can see it and see something that imitates a shad or a gizzard shad right now, they're coming after it. They're probably one of the most active time that they're going to be is right now. So they're going to fatten up for the winter and then get ready for the spawn here starting in February, end of
yeah,
February.
yeah. And
So
that'd be a good time too. I mean, and going from from the back of the pockets, you know, um, in the wintertime patterns, what do you tend to fall back to?
Wintertime, I will throw like a wacky rig. I'll slow down my plastics. The
Hmm.
only thing that I will not slow down again at the wintertime is going to be my crankbaits. And every single crankbait, I'm going to do that burn, stop. And again, five or four or five cranks, real fast stop, four or five cranks stop. And all it's doing is just getting it stopping. And
Hmm.
there, it's going to be more of a reaction. When wintertime, what I've realized and forward facing sonars really kind of taught me is like with the plastics and stuff, it's a slow retrieve. You you're wanting to uh, I mean, it's almost unbearable. It's cold out there unless you have the Firefly, Mizu, and Tep suit. If you're gonna go out there and it's, uh, I've been out there in 17-degree weather in the Tep suit, and I had to unzip it because I was burning up to just get some air. But but everything slows down.
Yeah.
But it's the fish are, again, it has to be in their face, and it kind of has to sit there with plastics is what I've realized, seeing with forward facing sonar. It has to just kind of just sit there in their face, and they just have to kind of get tired of it, and they're just chomping it just to get it out of their way.
But what are you
It's
targeting?
kind
Are
of
you targeting deeper water, structure deep water? Or are you going for humps and bumps, or just what are you doing?
I will target. Like right now, I'm targeting like secondary points because they're not all the way back into the back of these pockets. Here around Thanksgiving, they're going to be pushed back up, and it's going to be, they'll probably be in like a foot to 4 foot of water,
Yeah.
because they're pushing that all that bait back. And this is, you're going to see them. They're going to get fat, and what you seen that, I sent you the picture of the bass I had, the that big bass I had the other day. I mean, it was 24 and 3/4 inch around, 25 and 1/4 inches long. Um, and it was a big girl. And
Yeah.
so, um, that's one thing you can say in fishing and not get in trouble for.
That's the ones you're going after.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but, yeah, but wintertime, I'm going to focus more just on just hard structure.
Yeah.
Um, and probably, I would probably go deeper. I'd say within, like, I wouldn't, I'd start out looking in between, like, I'd say, maybe 4 to 15 foot is what I'm starting out targeting. As the water gets colder, they're going to drop back and get a little deeper.
Hmm.
Um, but again, they're going to be, um, if they're going to be where the oxygen's going to be. So the same creeks that you're seeing them go back into right now is going to be the same creeks that you can go and target them during
Yeah.
the wintertime.
Yeah.
They're going to be in there. So it's just a matter of just finding them. Um, they're going to be, especially like on the rocks and stuff, that they will use them rocks, especially that's up shallow, like let's say a rock riprap. They're going to be on them because them rocks are warmer, and it's going to
Yeah.
be warmer water. And so, um, but uh, I will say though, if it's cold, muddy water, we're just turning around, going back home.
Well, I know if it's cold, I'm either going to be at the house or in the woods. That's going to be one of the two places I'm going to be,
Yeah,
depending on how cold it is. I mean, if you're talking like 17, 20, 17 degrees, then I'm definitely going to be in the house or in the woods, not on the water. But with that being said, I mean, I guess we gotta get up early in the morning, don't we? We got we
yeah.
got
Well, Jerry, hold on. Jerry said, anyone wanting to buy our forward-facing minnow or sonic coat, email swflbasson at aol.com. Use Deck Talk 20 for a 20% discount. Um, so, and then he said, Florida fishing reports started 1 week ago. Okeechobee and some other lakes in the southern region, fish started bedding, and that's crazy to me.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
already down there. Um, Mostly bucks are on beds, but on the outside lines, the big girls are setting up. Our spawn will go from now until late May. So, you know what that means, Pappy? We got to make a trip down to Florida and hook up with Jerry and Hunter and let Hunter show us how it's done.
Oh yeah, for real. Yeah, I mean
So, but
that'd be the best guide there is.
yeah. So, with that, that's kind of what we've been doing on Chickamauga. But I do want to talk real quick and make it as long as it's short or whatever you want to do, Pappy. Um, you've been you've been out in the woods a lot here of late. So what have you been seeing and stuff like that?
Well, I've noticed the bucks have kind of, well, not kind of, the bucks have separated, which is a good thing, because it's now in pre-rut time right now for us. Um, and I've been noticing that the does have been running a lot more. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I guess you could say they're not really chasing them, but they're staying. The bucks are staying back and just trying to hurt them or push them or whatever. But there is a little bit of chasing going on, but not a whole lot. But the movement is definitely a lot better than it has been uh, since the season started. Which it's a given. I mean, it's pre-rut, but things will start uh, really getting heated up here within the next. It could be any time. I mean, we just had a full moon, and so it's just a matter of time now before they really start getting wound up, and you hear a bunch of grunting and clacking and going stuff going on, and bucks really chasing down the does to do what they do. But now's the prime time to be in the woods. Morning
yeah,
morning times, um, and the evening times. They're and and even in it, which we've gotten a lot of rain here lately. It's kind of um, been kind of a bummer. But you never really, you can still hunt in the rain, and they're still going to move, no matter what. Maybe not as much, but it seems like after the front has pushed through is when they really get up on their feet and really start moving. Um,
yeah,
and it's just a matter of time, just being in the woods, and seeing all the action go down. And something else I've noticed, like on my other piece of property that I hunt on, I don't have anything out other than my camera, and I've seen a lot more movement over there of recent than I have in the past without corn or any kind of feed put out. And
yeah,
all that's telling me is that these does are really starting. well, the bucks too. The bucks are starting to really push them around down
Yeah.
in that little hole that I got there. So if you're in the area where the rut is, you're in a pre-rut time. I'd say hit the woods morning and evening, and maybe even
Yeah.
do a few couple all day sits. Them kind of get a little rough, but you never know, man. You right now you just never know because old big boy he could come out walking at any time, um,
Yeah.
chasing
Yeah.
chasing that girl.
Yeah. So Jerry said, "Come on, boys. We had Ricky Medlock from Leonard Skinner last week, and the day he stopped fishing, at 80 bass boated. So they caught 80 bass that day.
Gosh, my man.
So, but we do need to see if Jerry can get us the hookup and be able to get old Ricky on the podcast, and I think that would be a blast of an episode. John Pate says he commented earlier, and we got talking on a different about Chickamauga, and he says we should always pay it back to our veterans. Thank you for recognizing it tonight. Thank you for your service.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Uh, but again, guys, if you want us to recognize, somebody that has served, um, to just email Josh Vaughn at Deck Talk Podcast, and we will make sure that we put them on the list to be able to get them recognized. And and also, if you could hit that like or subscribe button and start following Deck Talk Podcast. We're on 9 different platforms right now, with Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We're still having issues with getting a stream key from the old TikTok. So, but other than that, we're going to have a short night tonight. We have to get up and be heading out about 3 o'clock in the morning to run a load of Christmas trees to the Atlanta, Georgia area because apparently they want some Christmas trees. So
Hey, they running out down there, buddy. They're screaming and hollering.
yeah, yeah. So uh, we're going to be screaming, making them rollers scream and holler when we get there, though. But we ask this question every time, and Pappy, I want to ask you the question. So let's do this. If you could have one person to fish or hunt with, who would that be, and why would you want them to hunt or
Man,
fish?
oh, uh, you know, I where it all kind of started back with me. I would want to go fishing, whether it be on the bank or on the boat. I would prefer it to be on the boat, but with my mom.
Yeah,
I
that'd
mean,
be
um, I lost her at a young age, but I mean, from the time I did have her, she taught me quite a bit, and fishing was one of them. So yeah, I would like to get her out on a boat, or again, it don't matter what bank, boat, it wouldn't matter to me because I
yeah.
know.
Can you imagine? And which Jerry, um, I have to call Chad back. Jerry said for me to answer that question as well. Um, so, and I'll answer it. I've got two. I want both of uh, my grandpa and my granddaddy on the boat, and because both of them love to fish, and I could only imagine what they would say if they hopped on my boat right now and they seen all the electronics.
Yeah.
That would be one thing that I would want. I would love to been able to have them see that, um, because I can remember like when I as a kid, going out with my granddaddy, my mom's dad,
Mm-hmm.
and which he lived a mile from us, and we lived a mile from Cedar Creek Boat Ramp on Old Hickory Lake. And so, um, but I can remember like the boat that he had was, I mean, it was a Stratus. Well, he had a boat before that, and then he had a Stratus. I can't remember what the boat was before, but both of them just had flashers.
Mm-hmm.
And um, and can you imagine if your mom or my grandfather, my granddaddy or my grandpa was to hop on our boat, and just see like and look at a screen that has a map sitting right on it, and that I mean, and
It
all
blown
these they're going,
me
what are these blue dots for, or
away.
what's this? Why do
Yeah.
you have? It looks like it has grass or something, and it's just
Yeah.
how we mark stuff now. And
Yeah.
then you flip the screen over to where you see the down imaging or the side scan, and then the forward facing sonar, and then you can just push a button on and then you can pop up four different things that you want to look at on the screens right now. And I mean, their minds would be blown of
Oh,
what.
absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
and then you pull out something like this to them, and they're going to be like, "What are you going to catch with that?"
Yeah.
I mean, it's how much fishing has changed since they've been gone has just been phenomenal,
Yeah.
and so, uh, but that that would be my two people that I would definitely. I couldn't just pick one of them. It had to be both of them. So,
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
but I did get to one of the people that I wanted to fish with. I did get to fish with about 3 weeks ago with Jerry when he came up. I got to spend a couple days out on the water picking his brain, um, because I mean he's a mentor to me, and that's you. The more times that you can spend with your mentor and talking, and don't even have to be fishing, just
Mhm.
talking life in general. I mean, it is a blast, and so we're going to have to make it happen again here sometime soon. Um, Pappy, we do need to head down there though, and get on the boat with old Hunter though.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll make that happen.
but Jerry says that I'm a stick. I wouldn't call myself a stick. I just call myself lucky. So a lot of times I have a good net man, but
Yeah.
sometimes I don't.
Yeah. It depends. Yeah. It depends.
Depends on how pissed off I get them.
Yeah.
But guys, uh, next week, hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, next week we have a busy week. I mean, I, we got a full week of work, but then on the podcast next week, it is Veterans Day, and so a guy that goes to church with Pappy and myself, we are going to have him on. It is going to be definitely a different. I know here probably with the past 3 weeks to a month that we really kind of we've been flirting with trying to see what if we can go into the hunting realm and be able to kind of expand our umbrella with the podcast, and it looks like y'all are enjoying um, the podcast that way. But we're kind of going to go. We're going to have Mr. Joe come on, and with it being Veterans Day, um, Joe is a real special guy. I mean, he's one of a select few, and he was he was a guard at the unknown soldier tomb, and so we're going to talk about it next week, and then the following week. Um, oh, the following week we got another surprise coming on the 18th. Uh, we got Dakota from Savannah Bananas, the guy that's known as Sticks with Savannah Bananas. We're going to talk a little bit about the Savannah Bananas, but Dakota is a huge outdoorsman. He loves hunting, he loves fishing, so we're going to talk to him about hunting and fishing and the time that he has and stuff, being able to do all that. So we are going to have uh, our next 2 weeks are going to be kind of interesting, but with Dakota, we are going to be able to talk some hunting and fishing and stuff. And so, um, but next week we got to uh, do a recorded episode, which I think it will turn out to be a recorded episode for December 23rd, to where we're not having to do it. We wasn't going to do an episode for right before Christmas. So you'll have to wait to see. I'm stoked about it. It's somebody that I've been wanting to get on the podcast for the almost 4 years that we've been doing the podcast. So, but guys, we're going to get off here. I'm dog tired. Pappy worked me like a rented mule.
That's it,
And
right?
so then we got to go down and deliver, I think it's 2,700 cases of Christmas trees tomorrow. So, but we appreciate it. Make sure you go hit that like and subscribe button. And we will see you next week. And hope that you have a blessed day. Remember, God loves you as if you were the only person in this world to love. And we will see you next week, guys.